Actually, it was my daughter. She almost lost her dog to a heat stroke because, well, she went to work. She was going to college full time and going to work part time, and they lived out in the country. And they had their dog tied up between a couple of trees. You know, they run a line from one tree to the other, and then drop down, and so the dog could go back and forth. They put out water and food every day, and then they'd go to work and school and stuff. Well, she happened to have a short school class that day, so she stopped at home before going to work and to check on her, play with her dog and check on her dog. And it was 102 degrees, humidity was around 85%, just miserable. And when she got home to her dog about 1 o'clock that afternoon, she thought her dog was dead. He was just laying down. He wouldn't get up. And she got close to him and kept calling him. He still wouldn't get up. And finally she got next to him, and he kind of lifted his head up and kind of looked up at her like that. And if she would have went straight to work, the dog would have died from heat stroke. But anyway, she got him cooled off, got him water, got him in the air conditioning. And that's when she asked me to, if I had an idea of what we can do, so a dog would never want to run out of water again. And so I told her, I said, well, just get a great big, a big tub, fill it up with water. And she said she tried something like that, but the water got hot, it got dirty, the dog played in it, the birds got in it. So I went to the Tractor Supply store, it's a local hardware store, a couple days later to get some nuts and bolts or whatever for my shop. I got a weld shop here. And I went to the restroom. When I came out, I got a drink of water at their fountain, at their water fountain. I stepped on the paddle on the floor and got a drink and started walking away. And as I walked away a couple of steps, I turned around and thought maybe if I could make a dog fountain similar to that, but obviously much smaller. And so that's how that all came about. Well, the product itself it's amazing. I mean, and I get that from everybody who sees it. Not, of course, it's my product. I made it. Obviously, I'm going to think that. But it's not just me. It's, my friends and my neighbors and my family and complete strangers. I'll be out to dinner. Matter of fact, I was out to dinner last night. There's a little hot dog stand right across the road from my shop here. And I was inside there talking to a couple of guys about, well, I don't know if you've heard, but these dog fountains that I got right now, a video went viral, and I've sold almost 500 units or 550 units in the last 8-9 days. 5 days last week and the first 4 days of this week, I've sold 550 units. And I was telling them guys about that. And I showed them some videos as, hey, I got a patent on this and this is going nuts. And so after those two guys left, and I was sitting there finishing my beer and a couple of hot dogs, there was a table right behind me. And they said, the guy goes, hey, he says, I heard you talking about your some product that you got on your phone and you got a patent on it. He goes, I'm a design engineer. He goes, would you mind showing me your product? Him and his wife and his grown kid, the kid was probably 30, 35 years old or something. And these adults they're both retired. And so I showed them a couple of videos of my dog fountain, the dogs using it. And they said, man, that's amazing. I mean, they all just loved it. And they're just like, wow, how did you come up with that idea? And that's great. But it's, like I say, just everybody who sees it. So I knew I had a hit. I know I had a hit. And so you just don't give up. You don't give up on a hit. And of course, with the ups and downs, you're always wanting somebody to, like a big manufacturer, take this global, not just local or statewide, but global. This company I'm working with, the two companies, they're global. They sell all over the world. And matter of fact, I shipped a couple of my dog fountains I shipped one to Alaska the other day, which I like, what? And shipped one to Hawaii, which I've shipped a few to Hawaii, Puerto Rico. I used to, when I was kind of slow, I would ship them to Australia, Austria, UK, Switzerland, different countries. But now it was just so fast paced. I mean, I shipped 175 this past Monday. 89 on Tuesday and 93 last Friday. I mean, it's just been amazing. So, and that happens every time one of these videos goes viral. And if I've got stock, I pretty much almost sell out every time. and I think I'm going to sell out this time again. And again, I've got a non-compete with Quirky and Viatech, so once these units sell out, I can't make these anymore because they're making the posset for me. That's pretty amazing. It's a good feeling because yeah, it's a very good feeling. You're kind of beside yourself, you know. You look at it one day and you've got 100,000 hits already before, you know, somebody sends it to you, or Board Panda sent it to me. By the time I got it, already had 100,000 hits. Then the next day it's 300,000. The next day it's 700,000. The next day it's 1.1 million hits. I told Onega, there's a guy out there on YouTube, and he tests. He's one of those guys that gets, you know, has 10 million viewers or 10 million subscribers, and so that's how he gets money for all the advertising that comes through his site. But he tests things all the time, like garden implements, garden tools, or home kitchen products, or different things. You know, he tests things, and I contacted him a month or so, maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe, and somebody sent me a site, said, hey, get your dog fountain on this site. And so I emailed him and I said, hey, I got this dog fountain I'd like you to test out. I'll send you one for free. I never heard from him. You know, he's got 10 million viewers, so he's not going to be able to answer, you know, hundreds of thousands of emails, people wanting to test stuff out. So I kind of forgot about it. Well, then last week when I started selling those dog fountains like crazy, I got an order from him. He's called the Crazy Russian Hacker. And I told my wife that. She goes, oh, don't get on that site. He's going to hack you. He's going to hack your website. And he's going to hack your. I said, no, that's not what he's about. He's, you know, it's a hack in a different way. You know, it's not like hacking your computer files and all that stuff. So, so he ordered a dog fountain off of me, and he tested it. You can go to that site, the Crazy Russian Hacker. It was just posted. He ordered a fountain not this past Monday, but the week before. So like on the 16th or 17th, he ordered a fountain, and he put a video together by this weekend. I think I seen it Saturday. I subscribed to him, so anytime he posts something, I get, you know, it comes over my thing and I can watch it. And so, and he's got that heavy Russian accent, so he's up today. I'm going to test the dog fountain, you know, and so yeah, he had mine, and he had another one. There's a knockoff of mine. It's the one that when I was with API, the second company that I was with, and they made that really faulty product. I'll show you that to you. It's this one here, but this one just had so many problems with it, so many defects. So anyway, after I ended my contract with API, they stopped making them. They weren't selling them anymore. And a couple of years later, the guy sold his business to somebody else. And then this that white fountain I just showed you started showing up again. It was Amazon was selling it, eBay was selling it, and so I called Tom Rusci up there, and he said, no, he no longer owns this business. He sold it to this other company. So I called that company, and they said, no, we know about that, but we don't make it, we don't import, we have nothing to do with that. And I said, well, somebody is, and so we contacted eBay and Amazon, and they said, well, you need to hire a lawyer. And so anyway, that Crazy Russian Hacker, when he tested he tested the posset, that little red one I showed you. He tested that one and this white one. And he tested the white one first for just a couple of minutes, and then he had my red and the posset he did for the rest of it's I think a 10-minute long video. It's like 8 minutes, and he didn't really show the other one again. So I don't know if he's having problems with it, or it broke, or it didn't work. But he showed that white one for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and then he showed the posset for the next 8 minutes. And he has three Siberian Huskies that's always with him when he's doing these videos, and you might have seen that, but he was trying to get them to use the fountain, and within just a few minutes, the one dog, well, two of them were almost using it. He says, yeah, this is going to take a couple of days, maybe 3-4 days. He says, most dogs aren't going to learn it, within 5 or 10 minutes, like his video was trying to show, because he just ripped it out of the box, hooked it up, and was starting to use it. So if he works with them dogs for 2 or 3 days, each one, he's got 3 dogs, so it's kind of hard to. Anyway, he said he's going to do another video, so I'm going to have to do another video on this and come back. So he might be on again with the posset again. But yeah, that video was taken last time I checked it, and this was earlier this week. I think it had 350,000 views in like 4 days. That was by Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it came out Saturday. I need to check it again, see how many views he's got now, but yeah. The ups and downs. I mean, you can be on the highest of highs and you can be on the lowest of lows, just ready to cry, just ready to quit, just ready to hang it up. And then something like what's happening now happens. The amount of money I've spent, and it kind of worked out with me because I got my own shop, which allowed me to prototype, several times. If I'd have had somebody else do that, that could have cost me hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for all that type of service. And then the money you spend on a patent search, patent attorneys, websites. I built 2 websites, and then Onega's built my 3rd website. And now I've got another website. It's like a GoDaddy. It's Volusion.com, but it's kind of like a GoDaddy site where I build most of it. They help you out, the trips that I went up to Shark Tank audition twice up in Chicago. Took my nephew with me one time, took my wife with me one time, and you're spending a night in a hotel and the eats and the drinks and the gas. We went to Pennsylvania one time for a thing. Me and my wife and daughter-in-law. We went down to, you remember David Letterman? An audition down in Cincinnati, Ohio, which was probably six hours for me, 5 or 6 hours. And my dog was, using the fountain. And so I seen that, and I said, man, we got to go down there. We got to do this, get all that free publicity and free, promotion, and go down there and do this. So we get all the way down there, spend a night in a hotel. We get up real early so we can get in line, first. We was like first or second one, I think second one in line, because a lot of people showed up with cats and birds and dogs and stuff, want to promote all their tricks. What it was a big pet fair, like at the convention center, the Duke Energy Convention Center, like a big Coliseum, big thing, like your Superdome. What do you got down in Louisiana? Anyway, it wasn't that big, but it's a big convention center. And so I'm waiting when they come out and they take all their information, you sign waivers and all that, they get your phone number, name, email address. And so they come to me and they said, what do you got here? And I said, well, I got this dog fountain. Well, they had like a ring out in the convention center where they was going to do all these pet tricks. And then they had seating, like leveled seating went up, like bleachers all around it. And then the rest of the pet convention was going on all around. People had their booths and tables set up. You can buy any kind of pet product that you can imagine. And so when they come to me, I said, what do you need? And I said, well, I'm going to need a garden hose or a hose out there because I need a hose connection. So she said, I don't know. Let me check on it. So she goes and she comes back and she goes, they're not going to allow you to have a hose back there or out there in the middle. They don't have a hose. They can't, it's several hundred feet away. And where we were sitting in the docks where the trucks come in and unload everything, like everything, semis. This dock was probably 200 feet long. It could probably hold 20 semis at the same time. So we was back there. There were several hose drops, like every 25 feet. There's a big cayenne that come down. They had a garden hose on it. The next 25 feet down, same thing. And the next 25 feet down, same thing. I probably had 6 or 8 of these. And I said, look, there's a hose right there. They use it to wash off the docks and things like that. And she goes, well, I don't know if they'll come back here. Let me go see. So she comes back and she goes, and there were, this time there's probably 50 people in line. And she goes, well, you'll have to be the last one. She goes, they're going to do everybody out there. They will come back here with their cameras and all that, but you'll have to be the last one. I said, okay, I'll wait. So meanwhile, I've got my dog fountain with me. Me and my wife and my dog, and I've got this with me. And so when we went in there, first thing in the morning, I didn't give my dog any water, because obviously when it was time to perform, I wanted him to perform like nothing, just jump on there and just start drinking and drinking and drinking. I've done this a couple of other times where I wouldn't give him any, he stayed in the hotel with us. And so that I gave him a couple of ice chips during the night and a couple that morning, but I wouldn't. When we took off, he didn't have any water. And we got down there, it was a couple hours later, he still didn't have any water. So I've got this dog fountain with me, and he's on a leash, and he's trying to get some water. We're sitting in a chair like I'm sitting now, my wife's sitting next to me, and I got this thing in my lap. So he jumps up and he starts trying to get water. So I put it under my chair. And now he's going underneath of my chair trying to step on this to get some water. He doesn't realize, he just doesn't realize that it's not hooked up to a hose. He knows this is his water source. This is the kind of funny story, I guess. So I tell my wife, I said, you take the fountain and go sit down there about 5 or 6 chairs down there, and I'll hold the dog here. And so he sees her going down there, and he starts trying to follow her. He's trying to get, so I got to pull him back, and he's trying to get the water, but he can't. So this goes on for another, 3 hours, and we get up and walk around every once in a while, and we go get some snacks because we're going to be the very last one. So finally, the gal comes back and says, "You're next. Are you ready?" And I said, "Yeah. All I got to do is hook up to this hose." So I hooked up the fountain to the hose and set it down, and my dog sees me doing this, and he's going nuts. Now my wife's got it, and he's pulling and pulling and pulling. So finally, they come back with the camera, and they got like 300 feet of this was when they had wires. It wasn't a wireless camera. This guy had wires all the way back to where they was in the center ring type thing. And he says, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yep." And on these, you got to make sure you blow the air out of it when you first hook it up. If the hose has air in it, it'll shoot water 30 feet in the air. So you got to drain it. And so anyway, I said, "Okay, let it go, honey." That dog ran down there and jumped on that thing, and he drank. And I bet he drank for almost 3 minutes. His camera's going, it's like, how much is he going to drink? And I said, I don't know. He hadn't had water for about 10 hours, or more, or whatever it was. He had some ice chips early in the morning, but he hadn't had any water at all for probably 6 or 7 hours. And so yeah, they finally got all that. And they also had a big screen TV out there, out in that arena, or not a great big one, so people could watch it. It must have been, 10-foot diameter or something like that. Great big screen of some sort. So when they were doing the pet tricks out in the arena, if you couldn't see it, because if you got a little bird, it's hard to see what that pet's doing. So they was filming it, but it was also on this big screen TV, so you could watch it on that big giant jumbotron type thing. And so when they bought the cameras back to do mine out on the truck docks, I could hear those people out there hooping and hollering and just laughing and everything like that. And because they seen my dog using that dog fountain, everybody was out there, but we was back on the truck docks. And so after they got done, we picked everything up and washed it. We used some squeegees and cleaned up the docks, got all the water off the dock so nobody would slip or anything, and turn the water off and all that, And I go, "You think this will make it on David Letterman's Stupid Pet Trip?" She's all we got. We'll just take it back and show them. If they like it, they'll call you. If that would have got on the David Letterman Stupid Pet Trip, David Letterman show, this thing would have went nuts back then. So if we've had several in the Shark Tank. I said the guy called me back, wanted me put on the show, but I already signed a contract. So I've missed a couple of big opportunities. Some, my fault, and some not my fault. But yeah, that's, I would, as far as what I would tell another inventor, have lots and lots of money, lots and lots of patience, perseverance, strength, a good wife or partner, because you spend lots and lots of time on this and lots of money on this. But and you got to have a product. It can't be a niche product where maybe 10,000 or 100,000 people is going to buy it. It's got to be something that millions of people can use. So yeah, I would say run for the hills. Unless you've got somebody, possibly backing you, or somebody that's going to help you out that's got deep pockets. But the average person the average guy that makes $30, $40, $50,000 a year can go through that $30 or $40 or $50,000 a year, or that type of money, in 4 or 5 years, easy. So it could bankrupt you if there's people that spend a lot more than I've spent. They'll spend $50,000 or $100,000 on a product and go bankrupt, and then nothing ever happens. So